Fight!
It's not game over yet, chat. It's just begun. Now stay with me now, everybody. Stay with me now. Here it is. Arigato! Yay! There it is. I was like, wait, why is it taking so goddamn long? And no, it takes that long, chat. But welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's having a very nice Tuesday evening. I'm back, guys, to, as you saw by that wonderful, horrific, I would say probably embarrassing image. I'm going to be doing a review for 2002's Scooby-Doo, a film which I've really only seen clips of. Never saw it until, oh my god, Chris Ayres, we're not even 2 minutes into the stream. And alright, this stuff is going on. Chris Ayres, thank you so much for resubscribing 17 months in a row, Chris Ayres. Thank you. Oh boy, James Gunn sure has come a long way. I mean, hey man, he just wrote the thing. I mean, I don't even blame him. And you know, there's a lot of history of this film you guys don't even know about. Like different versions of it. That there was a rated R version at one point. There was some crazy behind scenes stuff with 2002 Scooby-Doo. How this project's been languishing back in the day in production hell. Trying to get this thing right. Back in the 90s when they were working on this film. Now, there's some interesting stuff. Sarah, welcome to the stream. Happy stream day. Thank you so much, Sarah. Broadway Tone, welcome. How you guys doing? Psycho Cat. Oh me, oh my, Scooby-Doo the Movie. Yep, man, the classic, the infamous Scooby-Doo. Mr. Lowry, welcome to the stream. Really digging the addition of reviews, especially of bad movies. And I remember even as a kid hating this one, so this will be good fun. Yeah, I never saw this in theaters, never saw this, in its entirety until very recently. Chat finished this film up today. So this was a very new experience for me. You know, I've always been a Scooby-Doo fan. You know, well, I think everyone has watched an episode or at least a series of Scooby-Doo when they were kids. You know, I watched the classic one from when it started in the 60s, the 70s, I think. Was it 60s or 70s? Around that time. I watched the classic Scooby-Doo, watched some of the original animated films as well, including my favorite, Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. Fucking horrifying, chat. You had Fred and Velma and Daphne, and their faces were melting, and then the Werecat people were gonna kill Scooby and Shaggy. That's the Scooby-Doo movie we all deserve. That was the one I always liked, and then they did a few more, and I don't remember them. There was one over there, they're in the internet, and then there's the one when they get abducted by aliens. But I always remember the Werecat one, Zombie Island, chat. That was great. We're gonna go ahead and jump into my spoiler review for Scooby-Doo the movie. Is this called Scooby-Doo? But I like to have the colon in there to make sure that we know what we're talking about, the movie. Now, this film is quite interesting. It had a budget of $84 million, and it made quite a profit, chat. There was a lot of excitement around this film when it first came out. Made $275.7 million worldwide, so it did very well. And then, because of that popularity, at least initial popularity, it led to a sequel. I think about 2 years later. Yep, 2 years later, Scooby-Doo 2, Now they have the colon in there, chat. Monsters Unleashed, which, it did not perform as well as Scooby-Doo, but still did okay. Budget of $25 million, made $181.5. We're like, okay. So, people are watching it. Although I do think it's interesting that they basically cut the budget, by way more than half. By 2/3 to make the sequel. And we're like, oh, we can go fucking cheap on this. They're going to see this shit no matter what. That's very Hanna-Barbera. So I thought that was pretty funny. But apparently, guys, this film, like, it went through multiple phases during the years. Like, when they're trying to get this made throughout the entirety of the 90s, it was attached to a few different people. Jim Carrey was originally supposed to play Shaggy in the 90s version. And he was going to be with, I forget what the particular actor he was going to be with, but it was going to be Shaggy. It was going to be Jim Carrey. Here he goes. So yeah, in the 90s version, Jim Carrey was originally was attached to play Shaggy, while Mike Myers also expressed interest in the Shaggy role during the late 90s. So it's like, again, this is, Mike Myers at like his height, his zenith chat with the Austin Powers films and everything. But yeah, they were trying to get that done. It went through different phases. At first, what they wanted to do, when they actually were going to go into production, they brought on James Gunn to write the script, and their whole idea of it was to do a parody version of what Scooby-Doo was. Basically, it set up the entire franchise, where it was going to be like a PG-13 rating. They were gonna, they were gonna have Scooby-Doo and Shaggy as stoners. They would have kind of emphasized, they were already doing the movie, but like the narcissistic tendencies of Fred and Daphne. Apparently the characters would have been a little more sexually promiscuous. And it's like, okay, so they were going for something very different, but apparently the studio panicked. And they're like, no, we're going to tone this down. And even when they got some of the actors on, like Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, and who else did they get? They had someone playing Velma. I always forget her name. Linda Cardellini. Like, they were signed on for that, like, PG-13 R version of it. So they thought they were going to be doing a parody movie, basically. And it wasn't until they actually started filming it where the studio went, nope, we're changing this entire thing. We're going to make it family-friendly. Give us that PG rating. And even James Gunn admitted, I think years later, that the version that they were going with was going to be R-rated. So it's like, okay, wow. That, to me, if you're ever going to do a Scooby-Doo film, live action film, it should be that. In the same way you guys mentioned before, whoever brought it up before, 21 Jump Street. It should have been like 21 Jump Street. I think it would have been a lot of fun. Better than what we certainly got. So even in post-production chat, they were changing things. They did a lot of ADR. They cut out a lot of the swearing. There's still some in this film. I think, like, Fred refers to someone as a bitch, or a bitch is mentioned at one point. Not like a female dog, but, like, bitch, a damn is heard throughout the movie. So they scrubbed it clean, but not fully. They couldn't get around certain things. They also put CGI clothes on the actors because there was too much cleavage in the film. So a lot of, like, Daphne and Velma's clothing was, at least part of it was CGI to mask the boobs, Jeff, the bazungas, the bazingas. Can't put that out for the kids. Kids can't see that, neither can mom and dad and grandma. They want to see Scooby-Doo, not boobs. So this film went through a lot of changes, both before it even started production, and then during production, and then finally post-production. But, it did lead to a commercial success at the very least. I mean, it did make money. Critically, it did not do very well. Critics, lambasted this film. They did not like it, and for good reason, guys. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is a bad film. Like, Matthew Lillard, he is the one bright spot in it, but even the stuff they have him doing, it's pretty embarrassing. It's the lowest brow humor you can imagine. Not even the cartoon went that low brow. Like, fucking fart jokes and things. And just talking about, just jokes about, butts or bodily functions. Like, this, what is this? This isn't even what the original series was. Any of those various shows. So that was, again, they're trying to make this for the littlest kids or people who are just fucking dumb. I don't know. That's how I feel. But the film opens up, and it's a typical, Scooby-Doo caper, where, they're investigating this toy factory, and we're introduced to all the characters one by one, establishing who they are, basically. We got Velma. She's the brains of the operation. She's laying down the plans and the traps. We have Fred, where he's helping with the traps, but he's so fucking narcissistic throughout this entire movie. He's always looking at himself, lot of self-deprecation, but it's nonsense. You got Daphne. She's been captured. She's the damsel in distress throughout this, at least this opening section. Everyone knows there's a damsel in distress. And then we have Shaggy and Scooby, who are, to the purposes, the fuck-ups. They're the guys who are usually used as bait to bring out the ghost. All they want is food. So I was like, oh, it's very similar to what we have in the original show. Some of their personalities are over-exaggerated. Like, Fred was always the pretty boy in the original cartoon. He wasn't, like, dumb. Here, you know, they have Fred where he is very narcissistic, very dumb. Daphne is even more of a ditz, more clumsy. But Velma's pretty much the same, along with, you know, Shaggy and Scooby. And so, you know, basically they have this whole trap laid out for this ghost who's haunting this toy factory. You know, the ghost has Daphne in his arms. He's floating around and everything. Velma's taking Fred. You got to activate the trap so we can catch the ghost. The guy who's under the mask, clearly. Fred's like, it could be a real ghost, Velma. We don't know. Again, Fred, always asking those good questions. So, he's like, okay, well, long as we get the ghost over to where Shaggy and Scooby are, we'll be okay. And, of course, fucking Shaggy and Scooby, they fuck it up. And lo and behold, chat, when the ghost sees Scooby's tail poking out of the barrel, he's like, well, I'm going to burn that little fucker. And he activates like a match, like a flamethrower type thing, burns Scooby's tail, and then he pops up. And this is where I'm like, oh, much the same way in Godzilla, chat. Godzilla 98, the CGI does not age well. And pops up this really fake-looking CGI Scooby-Doo. Now, I understand you have to go with CGI in this case just because of how anthropomorphic he is, but it also shows that this property just shouldn't be, you know, live action unless you're parodying, unless it's supposed to look bad on purpose. And I'm like, okay, then I can go with that. But he pops up, he's doing all his antics, you know, and it just doesn't look as good as it does animated. Where you got Scooby, he's, you know, trying to run away, but, you know, Shaggy's right below him, so Shaggy's running. They get on a skateboard, chat. They're activating all the machines around them. They end up finally beating the ghost just because of their pure stupidity. And them not knowing really what they're doing. And then we get the whole spiel where they get the guy, they take the mask off. Oh, then we get a terrible cameo, by the way, because after they defeat the guy and rip his mask off, all of a sudden, the fucking mystery machine just bursts into the factory, knocks down all the shelves and merchandise, the whole goddamn warehouse door just cracks open, and out walks Pamela Anderson, right? And I'm like, why is Pamela Anderson here? This is a weird celebrity cameo. And then we just see the boobs chat, and this is the part of the movie they couldn't get around, I think. Because there's a lot of cleavage in this film, and it's right there front and center. They did not CGI clothing Pamela Anderson's, you know, bazungas. And it's like, okay, there she is. And I guess she's the owner of the factory. She's the one that's going to inherit it. And she's the one that contacted them to get rid of the ghost. I don't know. I assume that's what it is. So they unmask the guy, get the whole spiel. This is old man Smithers. And he was the one who wanted the deed for the factory. And he's like, oh, it wasn't for you meddling kids. I didn't kill you fucks. I could have had it all. Dog Slayer, welcome to the stream. And thank you for the 25 biddies. The boobs. The boobs, chat. It was become, show us the guns. Hey, man, she was showing them off. I'm like, again, this is a really dumb cameo, in my opinion. Again, it's just, she's just there to be boobs. That's all she is, chat. Take what you can get, I suppose. So they solve the mystery. The press is there. Fucking Fred taking all the credit. Velma's pissed about it because, like, hey, this is my plan. You were over there, Fred, you know, admiring your face and everything. You fucked up the plan. You didn't do what I told you to do. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, Velma, wherever he calls her. Daphne disappointed because, well, Daphne has, like, serious self-esteem issues because she's constantly being captured. That's the one function. He really doesn't do anything else in the beginning portion of this movie. And so she's like, I need to find myself, you know. I can't be a part of this anymore. But Scooby and Shaggy, they're trying to hold the team down. It's like, hey, listen, guys, you know, we've been doing this for a long time. We know that we can sometimes bicker and argue, but... And they made this terrible... allegory about, hey, we're like a banana sundae, man. And, you know, like, you know, Fred, you're the big, long, thick banana, which I'm like, okay, there's some sexual innuendo, though. And Fred's like, I am. And then he made references to, you know, Velma and Daphne, you're being the ice cream and the mustard chocolate sauce. Like, oh, this is gross. I forget that. Shaggy and Scooby eat some gross shit, which I guess does make sense. They are eating fucking dog food most of the time in the animated series. Like, literal dog food, chat. That's what the Scooby snacks are. And Shaggy's just popping in his mouth all the time. He's like, okay, I get that. Okay, you would eat some weird stuff. And so he makes this wonderful allegory, and he thought he brought all his friends together, but they're like, no. And Velma says, you know what, I'm done. I need to go. I need to find out who I am. So she leaves, chat. Fred leaves. Daphne, super terrible self-esteem issues, she leaves. And all we're left with is Shaggy and Scooby. They're not going to solve any goddamn mysteries because they're idiots. Not doing anything. But, you know, Shaggy, he's the moral center. He's like, Scoob, I guess it's just you and me for a little while. And then, chat, we cut 2 years later. where I assume Scooby and Shaggy went to their home, or wherever they probably should be in life, which is fucking Florida, where they can do all the crazy shenanigans that they want. And this is a little joke too, because it cuts open to like them on a beach somewhere, like the mystery van on the beach, and you see all this fucking smoke coming out of the mystery machine. It's like, oh, I get what is going on here. They're getting fucking high, smoking a doobie, chat. But it's not. They're just cooking inside the mystery van. But I thought that would have been hilarious if that was like a consistent joke throughout the entire film itself. It's like you're always thinking they're just smoking some shit, but they're just eating. Oh, that would have been kind of fun. You want to maintain that PG rating, but then again, a little wink and a nod to the parents watching, bringing their little broods of failure in to see that film, or the children, whatever. And so they're trying to eat their disgusting sandwiches. A portobello mushroom chocolate sandwich. I don't like the sound of that, chat. No, thank you. Those flavors should not mix. But they're enjoying themselves. They've been on their own for 2 years. Apparently, like, very happy with their lives. They're kind of, wandering vagabonds. They have the mystery machine. They keep it in very good shape. So, even though they're, gluttons and hedonists, they keep a very clean living space. So, like, I kind of admired that. Good for you guys. You're just, you're living your lives. All of a sudden, they hear a knock on the van door, and Shaggy's like, Scoob! Don't answer it. And but of course, the fact that Shaggy's fucking talking and the fucking metal of the van is basically this thick, paper thin thick, the guy can clearly hear them. They try to sneak out, and then they are come upon by this guy, this delivery man. He's just like, hey, I know who you are. I'm not here to give you a mystery. I'm just here to deliver this letter to you. And it's a all expenses paid vacation. You get a free flight, you get a free hotel room, the whole shebang. And Shaggy's like, hey man, I'm not into materialism. That's not what we're about. I'm going to go grocery shopping. Thank you, but no thank you. He's being very polite, Chad. It's a very nice no. But then the guy says, you get all expenses paid buffet. And Shaggy's like, fuck yeah, I'm in. And so he's like, okay. He's going to go eat. And he's going to go to the location, chat. Spooky Island. A little on the nose, but okay. Shaggy's like, I'll do it. I don't give a damn. As long as there's free food, you son of a bitch, I'm in. So he gets going, Chad, and he goes to the airport with Scoob. Meanwhile, we cut to that same airport, Chad, where we see Fred. He is now a published author. I guess it's like a self-help book, because it's like him smooching himself on the book or something. There's like multiple like different pictures of his face in the book. I don't know. I assume that's what it was. And then we also see Velma, who comes up behind him, and are like, oh, they had that nice little conversation, catching up. And it's awkward, of course, chat. They haven't seen each other in 2 years, and, they didn't leave on the best terms, but it's actually quite amicable. Like, it's not, they're not yelling at each other or anything like that. They're actually being very polite. Basically catching up on what each other's been doing. Fred, published author. Velma, creating weapons for NASA. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. I always knew you had it in you, Velma. They get to the gate, chat, and then they find Daphne there. And oh, she's just Daphne, so materialistic, chat, trying to check in 7 bags, bring 7 bags on the plane. You can't do that. You can have 1 bag, and we all know, thank you so much. Who is this? Talking about Scooby-Doo. Birdman Surge, _86, welcome to stream. Bird, hope you're doing well. You're my Huckleberry. Are you a fan of Scooby-Doo? Let me know in the chat. Memos Wakab, welcome to stream. Shit, man, I'd go for an all-expenses paid vacation. But hey, man, Shaggy, he's not about that materialism. He just wants to eat some good food. He has his vices. He knows what he's about. But he doesn't need all that other glitz and glamour covering it. Bird. Yes, I was. Same, man, same. After this movie, you wouldn't be, though. I certainly wasn't. So Daphne there, she's trying to check on 7 bags, or bring on 7 bags. Chat, as we all know, you can only bring on 1 carry-on and 1 other item. That's it. Another, like a small bag and a suitcase. What's she trying to do? She should know better. But they meet Daphne, and Daphne's like, oh, I've improved my self-esteem. I have trained in the ways of martial arts and kung fu so I can defend myself. And they're like, no, you can't. So it's like they're very, very dismissive of Daphne in this scene, chat. It's like, I've never been a big Daphne fan, but Velma and Fred, I think they're being a little aggressive towards her. I don't think that's fair. Daphne doesn't deserve this. She gets the short of the stick a lot in this film. And then up walks Shaggy. Shaggy's like, oh, the gang's all back. And it's like, but there's some awkwardness, but they all like Shaggy. They don't mind him. No one's angry at Shaggy, chat, because they all know he was the guy that brought them together. Oh, it's Velma. It's Velma, Fred, and Daphne who caused all the tension. Shaggy's just enjoying himself. He's very laid back. He's a type B personality, chat. And they're like, oh, hi, Shaggy. How you doing? I'm like, I'm great, man. And they ask him, where's Scooby-Doo? He's like, oh, well, I couldn't, get him through the airport, so. And then we cut to a number of one of many terrible sight gags, chat. Thank you so much Hunteress. Oh, Hunteress. That's a great name, Hunteress. 1, 2, 3. How you doing today? You're my Huckleberry. Oh, we got another one coming up, chat. Augustin _ Machias. I'm gonna call you. I like that, Augustin. There's some good names. I like that. There's Cobb. Yes, I grew up on Scooby-Doo. Where are you? Oh yeah, same man, same. Pup called Scooby-Doo. You watch that too? Did you ever watch Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island when fucking Velma and Fred and Daphne's faces were melting? That always scared me as a little kid. It's fucked up. Anyway, so we cut to the first of many terrible sight gags throughout the film. It's like this is not funny, neither for adults nor kids. Where we see Scooby-Doo, who's, he's just able to walk on his hind legs, no problem, like a human, chat. And he's dressed up like someone's grandma, and he's, eating people's food along the way. He's stumbling around and everything. This giant fucking Great Dane. Which, by the way, chat, I figure at the start of the film, Scooby's maybe like 3 or 5 years old. Like, he's a full-grown adult Great Dane. Like, he is at the, this is the prime of his life. And we go 2 years later, Scooby should probably be dead. Because Great Danes, they don't live long. Like big dogs, they don't live long. They have, about 8 years, I'd say, at most. So Scooby-Doo has 1 year left before he's gone. So maybe that's why he's like, hey, man, Shag, let's just go on this all-expenses-paid vacation, get some good food. I don't have a lot of time left, okay? Shaggy was like, oh, shit, all right, let's do it. And so Scooby, he's there, he's eating all the food, and Shaggy's like, well, Velma says, no one would be dumb enough to think that's an actual human. And then you got Fred going, who's the ugly looking grandma? It's like, oh, great. These are the jokes. These are the consistent jokes throughout the entire film. I'm going to skip a lot of them because they're just not worth repeating, but they're all there. Assume in any scene I'm talking about at this moment, there's a plethora of bad jokes like that. Plethora of bad sight gags involving Scooby-Doo. I'll tell you guys, I do not like Scooby-Doo in this film. I think he's really annoying. Nothing he does is particularly funny. The dialogue they give him is bad. And I think he brings down Matthew Lillard's otherwise very good performance in the film. Like, I'll say that. I think Matthew Lillard does a good job, for the most part. They have him doing dumb shit and just reacting to stuff where it's like, I don't think he would react that way. But, that's what he has to do. That's the direction he was given. But Scooby-Doo, I think, is honestly the worst character in this entire film. He's just annoying. You're never charmed by him throughout. And this again, one of the first of many cases where it's like, oh my God, just die already, Scooby. You have maybe 6 to 12 months left. And that's it. Hopefully we're at the end of his life at this point, Chad, because he deserves it. Anyway, so they board the plane. Of course, Velma and Fred, they're sitting next to each other. They got that awkwardness. Daphne, I think she's off on his own. Then we got Shaggy and Scooby there. No one questions the goddamn 6 foot tall Great Dane just sitting in, economy class, chat. He's sitting next to Shaggy. Shaggy's just about to enjoy a sandwich, chat. But then in walks the most beautiful girl that Shaggy ever sees in his life. His heart is pitter-pattering, chat. He's flummoxed. He doesn't know what to do with himself. And then she walks over towards Shaggy. She's like, is that seat taken next to your... It's a dog, but he's like, oh, it's my grandma. It's like, sure, okay, whatever. She sits down next to Scooby-Doo. She starts sneezing because she's allergic to dogs, chat. It's an important fact in the film. It's like, okay, sure. And Shaggy, he's just obsessed with this new girl. She introduced herself as Mary Jane. Shaggy's like, oh, well, I think Mary Jane's a beautiful name. It's kind of like a little creepy, but still charming. Shaggy clearly hasn't been with a woman, maybe ever, or certainly in a long time. He's just been hanging out with this fucking dog. Scooby, he starts to get jealous. He gets out of there, and he starts sitting next to Fred and Velma. There's some really bad sight gags, chat. There's a cat on the plane, and Scooby's pissed about the cat. Fred, is like, I know how to reprimand dogs when they're acting out, fucking flicks its nose. It's really bad. Hey, Mike, welcome to the stream, and thank you so much for the 31 biddies. Did you tell Corey about Hello Bus? I did not, man. I'm seeing Corey on Thursday. So I'll be sure to talk to him about it then, man. But welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. And be sure to message him about it. That's typically you're right. You got it, Joey. I was wondering how long it was going to take you guys to get it. He likes Mary Jane, get it? I thought that was pretty funny. It was one of the more subtle jokes that was clearly James Gunn's. I'm going to sneak this fucking thing in here. Oh, my God. And so him and Mary Jane, they're just talking. He's in love with her, just taking in her sweet scent, chat. And then all of a sudden, this fucking girl brings up dog food, chat. She has her own Scooby snack. She just shoveled him in her face. It's like, you shouldn't do that. That's clearly unhealthy. You're going to get worms or something. Don't do that. And Shaggy's like, oh my God, you eat dog food too? And Mary Jane goes, I eat dog food, yeah. And they bond over that shit. They both eat dog food. They both have that weird fucking kink and fetish. And clearly they're probably the only two people on the planet, with the exception of Scooby himself, but he's a dog, so he should eat those Scooby snacks. Where they can bond over this one thing. They're meant for each other. We eventually get to Spooky Island, chat. And it's already super weird and awkward. People are just acting bizarre. You get these teenagers, basically these 30-year-olds who are pretending to be, 16, 17-year-olds. It doesn't work. And you can tell this is the tail end of the 90s and early 2000s, because everyone has frosted tips. Everyone has way too much hair gel in their hair, like super spiky and everything. It's like this does that. Thank God that died out. It's not a good hairstyle. Mike, thank you so much. I give another 31 biddies. Get it? Because Shaggy is a stoner, and his favorite name is Mary Jane. Quite right, my friend. Quite right. Thank you again, man, for the 31 biddies. And so they get to the island. Everyone's acting weird. They are then introduced to Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson. I'm not going to call him Rowan Atkinson in this review. He's Mr. Bean from now on, chat. And Mr. Bean, he's the owner of Spooky Island and the various resorts across the island. And he's the one who invited them because he has a mystery for them to solve. Because he says, you see all these fucking weird kids around here? They're coming here to party, man, doing fucking blow, drinking, all that shit. And then when they leave the island, they're normal. They're not crazy party kids. They're wearing their polo shirts and their khaki pants, and the bazungas aren't out anymore. And it's like, surely something's up here, and I'm losing money. These kids are leaving too soon. You have to help me. And the guy's like, I mean, we were just here. You kind of brought us here under false pretenses, sir. You brought us here just to enjoy ourselves. And we'll fucking do it because we're addicted to this shit. We have to do it. Dark Slayer, thank you for the 15 biddies. Have you considered clipping these reviews for separate videos? Yes, I have. Today, actually, I was working on a lot of YouTube stuff. During my lunch break at work, and also when I came home. I'm going to be uploading a lot more videos, but I'm also going to be separating these reviews and putting them up on YouTube and my website. But no, thank you. That's a great question, Dark Slayer. Thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate it. So the bazungas and everything, that Mr. Bean needs more bazungas, more blow on his island. There's no more blow. Now, he gets the mystery team. He's like, hey, help me solve this mystery. They're like, well, we don't really want to do that, but they're addicted to it, chat. They have to do it. They got that. It's like, ugh. I remember the good old days. But, chat, they don't want to work together. They all kind of go their own separate ways. And I guess we're introduced to a couple of people. No, not really. No, okay, we are. So, Shaggy's like, listen, I'm not here to solve a mystery, man. That's not what we're here to do. Shaggy's actually very mature about it. I'm going to go enjoy myself. You guys do what you want to do. Scoob, let's go. And Shaggy and Scooby, they're hanging out with Mary Jane. Shaggy's bonding with her. He's taking her to, I guess, the carnival part of the island or whatever. They're having a good time. Scooby, he's distracted by someone because someone promises, like, hamburgers. I don't know how this happens, chat. I guess he heard. Oh, yeah, because he's like passing by, and in the spooky fucking woods, he hears a voice. I have hamburgers for you, Scooby-Doo. And he's like, oh, okay. And he fucking goes in the woods like an idiot. Meanwhile, chat, we were following Velma at this point. She's checking out this, I don't know, island ritual show, I guess. They're not really specific about what's going on this island. Okay, it's a resort, definitely. But then there's also natives who are definitely not natives. They might be part of the island shows. I don't know. It's not really definitively said at this point. But she goes, checks out this ritual show. People all dressed up in tribal gear. And they're talking about like an ancient ritual where if the person gets a pure soul check, they will rule the world for 10,000 years, and all the lights and everything and fire. And Velma's like, well, that's fucking bullshit. Because I see all the technical stuff you're using. This is not magic. You got hologram projectors in here. The fire's fake. I see the nozzle. And the guy's like, you son of a bitch. So they're very peeved at Velma. Fred, we don't know where Fred is. I guess he was doing some debauchery chat, and that was cut out of the movie. I assume so. But we do follow Daphne, who she's taken the initiative to actually engage in the mystery because she wants to prove again to herself, but also everyone else, that she is just not the damsel in distress, chat. She is smart, she is confident, and she's going to be a goddamn detective and a mystery solver. And so she goes out to the beach, chat, where she meets a witch doctor. Who's not part of the resort at all. He just happens to live there. And I'm sorry, chat. what I'm about to say, but it's absolutely true. The witch doctor is played by one Miguel Nunez, and he bears a striking resemblance to Corey Coleman of Double Toasted. You guys know what I'm talking about, Miguel Nunez? If you've seen this movie, he looks like a very, just a very close resemblance to Corey. Okay, I gotta bring it up now. All right, chat. You're making me bring this up. I'm gonna look this up. Here we go. Oh, here's a good picture. No. There we go. I'm gonna get this is the one. That's the one I want. All right, Jack, guys. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and, matter of fact, let me just send you the link. I'm going to send you the link to the picture, guys, and you there you go. Check that shit out. Yeah, am I right? Am I fucking right? It looks just like Corey. Man, kinda. That is him. It's Joanna Man, exactly. Yes. Miguel Nunez. Exactly what that is. So I thought that was pretty funny. So Daphne, she goes out to meet Corey Coleman, who's practicing his voodoo, I assume. He's a witch doctor after a little chat. And she's like, hey, listen, I need your help. No one else has helped me. Do you know anything about the strange occurrences on this island? And Corey goes, no, I don't. But you should probably check out that spooky castle that's up there. It's no way a part of the resort whatsoever. I heard that it's haunted. There's a lot of bad juju out there. And she's like, well, I'm going to go up there and solve this mystery, chat. So she goes ahead and walks up. Meanwhile, we cut back to Scooby-Doo, who, being the big, dumb, Great Dane that he is, he's investigating, these hamburgers, or as he called them, hamburgers. He finds them, chat, and then they're just tied to this tree, and they said for one Mr. Scooby-Doo, he's just shoveling all the fucking patties into his mouth at this point, chat, and then walks up a terrible CGI creature, which is like a dog demon, and it does not look good whatsoever. I mean, at least put some of the money into these effects. They didn't even bother. This is like Godzilla 1998 level effects, chat. They're so bad. And it fucking messes with Scooby-Doo. You get, again, a comedic sight gag where Scooby manages to fling the monster on a roller coaster where it explodes at some point. I think that's what happens. I can't really recall very well. Yeah. So then we get to there. And then we have a Daphne, so she's... Oh, that's what happens. She goes talk to the witch doctor, but then she goes back to Scooby and Shaggy, and, all the shenanigans occurred, where Scooby's really freaked out about what happened. And she's like, okay, well, Scooby knows something weird's going on. Why don't you guys come with me so we can go investigate the haunted castle? And Scooby and Shaggy are like, we will not do that. No, thank you. Then we get the whole bit chat. Well, would you do it for a Scooby snack? And they're like, oh, hell yeah, give us that dog food. Shovel it in our mouth. We don't care about the diseases, about the worms it'll probably give us. So Shaggy and Scooby, they both get a Scooby snack chat, and they go investigate the mansion. Open up, super fake, gaudy looking, but maybe I guess it's kind of hard to capture the look of the haunted mansions and places in Scooby-Doo in live-action form. I think just do a typical spooky mansion you see in any horror movie. Chris Ayers, thank you so much for the 100 biddies, bruh. Don't insult Godzilla 98 like that. CG is so spawn shit. Nah. Godzilla 98 is pretty bad, man. When was the last time you saw? Have you seen the Godzukis in that film? They are terrible. They are not very good. He was in Friday the 13th, Part 5. Yeah, he's the guy that died in the porta potty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the shitter outhouse. That's right. That's right. You know, chat. You know. No, Spawn CGI is probably the absolute worst. That's the worst CGI I've ever seen in a film that was at least to theaters, I want to say. There could be something worse, but I haven't seen it. So Daphne, Shaggy, and Scooby, they go up to the haunted mansion, chat, and they're investigating. But all of a sudden, fucking Fred walks in. He's like, hey, guys, I'm back. I was doing some debauchery earlier, and I'm here. I followed these footprints up to this haunted mansion because I was definitely following up on this case. And so they're all together. And then fucking Velma comes up behind him, and she scares them with something on like knight's armor. I don't know. And the gangs reunited, chat, and the dynamic, it's not the same though. I mean, there's still a lot of awkwardness, still a lot of bad feelings. And they do the whole thing. It's like, okay, guys, let's go and split up. Like, Fred assumes the leadership position. I'm going to go with Daphne. And Velma goes, and Fred's like, what? What, Velma? What the fuck do you want? Because Velma clearly is like, she's done with this. Like, you always, I'm always picked last. You always go with Daphne. I'm by myself. I could get killed here. And then Scooby and Shaggy do what the hell they want. And Freddy's like, all right, you know what? Fine. We'll do something different. I was like, oh, that's cool. You and I, Velma, will go off and investigate. Daphne, do whatever the fuck you want. And Scooby and Shaggy, I don't know what they do. They just do it. And that's what we have. They all go their separate ways, chat. Velma and Fred, they investigate one part of the mansion. Then Daphne, she's on her own. And Scooby and Shaggy, they're off on their own. They've managed to find a feast of wonderful food, although it doesn't look that particularly good. It looks incredibly fake, although there's a good reason, chat. And meanwhile, all during this time they're going to these different parts of the mansion, they have the eyes in the portrait watching them. And it happens, those pairs of eyes happen to belong to a little dwarf man who's in a little jester outfit, or like tribal jester outfit. He's watching them, chat. We realize, oh, this mansion, this haunted mansion has been on island forever. It's not. It's part of a theme park ride. And so he goes over there and he turns everything on. When apparently this fucking theme park ride is a death trap. Because all the end of the rides kill you. And so Daphne, she ends up getting knocked into like this little roller coaster that takes her on a specific path. Fred and Velma are almost sawed in half by these axes going back and forth. And then Scooby and Shaggy, they're literally attacked by the food and pinned to the goddamn wall, being attacked by a giant worm hentai thing that's trying to bite them. It's fucked up. Thank you, Sandy. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Fern, good to see you. Hope you guys are doing well. How you liking the reviews so far? Is it nonsense? What games will you and Corey play for the 1500 sub celebration? Probably something. I'll probably play a Sonic game. And maybe something else. Martin's going to play Cuphead. I'm not sure what Corey's going to play. Glad you're back, Austin. Love the review. Thank you, Darks. I'm glad you guys are really enjoying these. These are fun. So, fucking, Shaggy and Scooby. The only way they're going to be able to get out of their chair, they got to eat their way out. And Scooby starts eating, but all the food's made of plastic. But he's a fucking great dude. He doesn't give a shit. He has less than a year to live, chat. So he's just going to keep eating. So he starts eating all the fake plastic food, and that's not going to be good for his bowels, chat. That's probably going to puncture something. He's going to bleed out. A lot of fluid's going to build up. He'll have like an aneurysm and die, probably at the end of this movie. But that's what they're doing. Daphne, she's on this roller coaster ride. She can't get up because, she's the damsel in distress. Ha, I get ya. And she's heading towards these big spikes, and then they're going to get her. And then we also have Velma and Fred, and they're trying to escape these giant swinging axes and everything. But there's nothing they can do. Velma throws Fred a book, and he uses it to block it. Somehow blocks the axe chat, and he goes flying ass back into like a hidden window, chat, where he crushes the dwarf man under his thick ass. But he also hits the switch that stops all the rides and electronics from going off, and it's all shut down. E-Mike, thank you so much. How many biddies is that? 20 biddies? Thank you so much for the 20 biddies, sir. You make it sound like Scooby is going to die. Yes. Yes, he's a Great Dane. He's at least 7 years old. Great Danes typically live between 7 and 8 years. This is all he's got left at this point, chat. Honestly, if like the whole idea of Scooby-Doo, like from the 1960s to now, we'd be on Scooby-Doo 8. It wouldn't make any sense for him to still be alive. It'd be ridiculous. I want that continuity to happen. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, so yeah, Dwarf is crushed. They shut down the ride. And like, oh, this is what's happening. Clearly, this is a trap of some kind. There is something nefarious going on right here. We have to investigate this properly. Daphne, she's still not reunited with them. Daphne, because that's what Velma and Fred figure out. It's like, okay, something clear is going on here. Someone's manipulating things behind the scenes. What could it possibly be? Meanwhile, we follow Daphne. She's in this new part, and she uncovers this ancient fucking artifact that looks like the box from Hellraiser, chat. She grabs the box, almost traps her, but she gets out of there, and she goes looking for Scooby and Shaggy. And then we get to another terrible sight gag, chat. It was just all fart jokes for the next 2 minutes where Shaggy and Scooby, they're investigating another part of the mansion. At this point, they escaped. But, you know, Scooby, again, he has all that plastic inside of his tummy at this point. And he's, you know, he can't pass that through. So all that gas is building up, Chad. And so he's fucking burping and farting. And, you know, Shaggy, he joins in. He starts burping and farting. And he gives out this really long, prolonged fart. And Daphne walks in. And she's like, the entire time. It's like, this isn't funny. This is bad. This is bad. It's not funny. Nut humor was never in the original Scooby-Doo cartoons. I don't know why it's here now. And she's like, oh, it's gross. But then eventually they all reunite and they have the fucking Hellraiser box and they go back to the hotel. And they tell Mr. Bean who they think the villain might be. They said that, well, it could be the evil voodoo man. The guy who's kind of like who said that the prophecy is going to happen, that Velma met, that he could possibly be the bad guy. Daphne says it could be Corey Coleman of doubletoasted.com. Because he told him to go to the mansion up there to probably die. And they also said it could also be you, Mr. Bean. We don't know. You're the one who brought us here. Mr. Bean's like, I could be the bad guy? Oh! Who is this? 966, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Is it an hour 30 minutes? Yes. Just under an hour 30. I think it's like an hour and 27, hour 24. It's a very short film, but it felt fucking long while watching it. And so Velma, she's like, all right, well, I'm going to go see what this ancient artifact is and figure this out. Meanwhile, fucking guy's hitting on Velma. Velma's all about it. She's like, oh, guys never hit on me. It's like it's a nice little cute thing that's going on. Shaggy, I think, is back with Mary Jane. They're talking. Scooby's really jealous of everything that's happening. Fred, he's doing whatever he's doing. I never know what Fred, he's like, I'll tell you this, guy. Freddie Prinze Jr. I think is a fantastic voice actor. I think he's a good actor. I wouldn't say he's like terrible. He's just given bad direction. He's given nothing to do in this film. I can never remember what Fred is doing in this movie. I think they just cut out a lot of his scenes throughout this entire film. He's doing something. Scooby, he looks at one of the weird kids who was in the polo shirt and khaki pants and go, bleh. Oh no, he sees like something creepy out the window. That's what it is. And it's one of the demon dogs from earlier that got smushed by the roller coaster. Scooby freaks out. He's like, it's a monster. Woo! Fred's like, Scooby-Doo, there's no such thing as fucking monsters, you dumb dog. Don't worry about it. You ingested too much plastic, and clearly the plastic has melted in your stomach acids and spreading throughout your body. It's affecting your brain at this point. You're going to have a seizure. That's what's happening right now. Mike, thank you so much. What is that? For another 21 biddies. Wait, Corey was in Corey's in the movie. You guys didn't know that? No, when Corey was making Space, like, you guys don't know. Corey was, he worked on Space Jam as an animator, director, writer, producer, actor, but he also appeared in Scooby-Doo. You guys didn't know that? Yeah, he's a Scooby-Doo. He plays the witch doctor in the film. Yeah. So, and they suspect Corey Coleman is one of the suspects. 3 Gully, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Look at all the support we're getting tonight, Chad. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. So, Fred's like, and he gets up on the table. He's like, guys, don't worry. There's no such thing as money. And then fucking demon dog bursts in. All these fucking demon dogs coming in. They start taking the people and tearing them apart, Chad. And they're leaving with them. Velma ends up getting captured along with Velma ends up getting captured along with Fred. They're taken by the demon dogs. I believe does Daphne escape? Yes, Daphne does escape. Daphne, Shaggy, Scooby, and Mary Jane, who Shaggy was hanging off with, they escape, and they're like, oh, and so does Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean, he gets taken too. It's like, oh, well, clearly he's not the bad guy, Chad, because he got taken by the demon dogs. And then some time passes. I guess a couple hours, and it's daytime, and, Daphne and Shaggy are like, okay, we gotta come up with a fucking plan. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Fuck Fred and Velma. They're obviously dead. Let's try to find a way out. And that's what they proceed to do, chat. And then they walk in on, just the fucking hotel inhabitants, despite being attacked by demon dogs earlier, chat. They're having a good time, man. They're dancing. They're doing, the actors in this scene, chat. They're so terrible, because they're doing that really awkward, dancing the entire time. It's doesn't match the music at all. Clearly that's not what they had playing at the time. They took it out and they put new music back in. It's really bad. Probably didn't even have any music playing, honestly. So they have that. Daphne, she's being just stared down by this one guy who has the frosted tips and everything, seeing this really bad pop song tour. It doesn't work whatsoever. She then goes and meets Fred, Chad. Fred survived the demon dogs. He obviously escaped, but he's just talking to some guys. I think this is the part where he says bitch at one point, and they couldn't scrub that. I don't know why they left that in there. I guess they were allowed one bitch, Chad. But he says bitch. He's talking to his guy. We see a lot of terrible, like, 90s, early 2000s slang. Like, it does not work. It's super awkward. You know, maybe it's because these guys who are, we find out that they're possessed by the demon dogs later on in the film, chat, spoiler, and they're trying to replicate human speech. Oh, that's the other thing, too. I believe Mary Jane, she contacts the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard, they're in on it as well, chat. We also get another really bad visual gag. Doesn't work whatsoever. And so they can't escape from the island. Because she's like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Daphne, she's talking to Fred. Fred ends up, capturing her, and then she's taken away. And so we're just following Shaggy and Scooby. And they're trying to escape. They're being chased by the demon dogs and the possessed people at this point. They come upon these, what is it? Oh, shit. What's the vehicle? Not 4x4s. What's the specific vehicle called? ATVs, that's it. They find these ATVs. They start riding them. Scooby's riding his own separate ATV. Shaggy's got his own. Mary Jane's got his arms wrapped around him. She's just happy to be with Shaggy, chat. They get putting some distance between them and the monster, chat. But then all of a fucking sudden, Shaggy's like, hey, duck, man. He ducks. And the fucking branch just smacks right into Mary Jane's face. Honestly, chat, Mary Jane should be dead at this point. It should have just taken her head off and just fucked her up so bad that she's just paralyzed from, like, the neck down. Or just, like, serious brain damage. Serious brain damage. But she's not, chat. And Scooby's like, oh boy, fuck! Ruh-roh! He looks at her and, chat, it's a mask, chat. There's a demon dog inside of her. And it's like, blah. And then she fixes her face. He goes, ha! And it's like, oh! And Shaggy doesn't know that he's got a demon dog gripping him from behind. And they get to, like, some place, like an ancient temple. Like, oh, it's a good place to stay, man. To hold out. And then Scooby's like, don't you dare touch my friend. He starts barking. It's the first time we hear Scooby bark in the film, chat. He's barking at Mary Jane. And Shag's, what's up, man? What are you doing? Don't do that. I like this girl. And then they start fighting, chat. And it's not like, okay, it's like the cool type of conflict here. But then they start just like, saying, oh, you eat cat poo. And you're dumb. Like that level of comebacks and insults. It's like, this is terrible. Eventually the fight ends because Scooby-Doo, he falls down a bottomless pit. Shaggy, he's like, oh, Scoo! And Shaggy wants to go after him, but Mary Jane's like, don't do that. And she has, like, a demon voice and everything. Then she switches up, like, oh, it's like, no, it's too dangerous. He's like, I gotta go get my friend, man. And so then he goes in the ancient temple, chat, and he comes upon this pensive. I know that word because I read Harry Potter. Do you remember Dumbledore's pensive in what is it? Order of the Phoenix? Also featured in The Half-Blood Prince. He comes towards his pensive. And apparently it's filled with all the souls of his friends. It's kind of fucked up. And he sees, Velma's soul and Fred's soul and Daphne's soul and all the souls of the horny teenagers who have since been possessed. Oh, I guess the bodies, they suck out the soul, they put him in the pensive, and the demon dog soul goes in the flesh suits. That's what happens. So they sucked out everyone's souls. And he's like, oh, this is fucked up, man. He manages to find Velma, chap. He picks her out, fucking chucks her up in the air, and she goes ahead and finds her body. And, she goes in to her possessed body, kicks out the demon dog, and she's like, oh, no, the demon dog's going to attack me, but it doesn't attack, chat, because it's fucking dying, because it's being exposed to sunlight. We now know the demon dog's weakness, chat. Well, they're like vampires. Once they're exposed to sunlight, they can die. They just, poof, that's it. They burn up, turn to ash, to cinder. She's like, all right, this is how we're going to defeat them. Shaggy, he starts picking out all the other people, gets Daphne, boop, there she goes, gets Fred, boop, he picks up, he picks up like some random people, but he doesn't do it. He's like, oh, thank you for saving me. And it's like, Shaggy's like, oh, you're not my friend, man. He fucking throws him right back in there. It's like, no! It's fun. And then he finds Fred and Daphne, gets him out. But there's a little bit of confusion, chat, because Fred, he can't find his body, so he goes for the first body that he knows. And he goes smack dab right into Daphne. Meanwhile, Velma walks in. She's being chased. Oh, no. The demon dog comes out on a Daphne. And Velma's there. She exposed the demon dog to sunlight. And there we then know that Fred is in possession of Daphne's body. And, a lot of bad jokes. Fred's like, I'm going to go look at myself naked. Like, literally, that's the line dialogue. I'm not even adding anything to it. That's what he says. It's like, oh. So, fucking Velma and Daphne, they go out. Daphne finds Fred's body, so she's in Fred's body. Again, a lot of bad jokes. Terrible ADR. Like, they can't even get the lip sync right to their voices. Because, of course, this is how it works, chat. When fucking Daphne, or when Fred possesses Daphne's body, Daphne sounds like Fred, and then Fred sounds like Daphne. When Daphne possesses Fred's body, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. But we just go with it. Just go with it. They all meet up. And then Velma says, "Oh, well, Daphne and Fred are like, what are we gonna do? I want to be in my own body and things." And Fred's he's touching the bazungas, chat. We know how this is. And then, funny enough, this is the movie where Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar met and fell in love. And eventually got married and had a bunch of kids, chat. Good for them. At least there was something positive that came out for them. A nice relationship, a good family. Yeah. And then touching boobs. Anyway. So, they're very concerned they can't get back in their own bodies. Velma explains, oh, well, clearly the ectoplasm hasn't found the right connection yet, so randomly we're just going to suddenly burst out of each other's bodies. Our souls are going to go up in the air and come back down to different bodies. Like, wait, what? And then it just happens, chat. People's souls are coming out of people's mouths. People are possessing each other. Shaggy becomes Daphne. Velma becomes Fred. Fred becomes Shaggy. It's like all that stuff. It's like, all right. This is enough. This is going on for far too long. Eventually, they all get back into their regular bodies, chat. We're like, okay, we're back, but where's Scooby-Doo? And Scooby, chat, he has been captured, and he's being fattened up by the inhabitants of the natives and by the island. But then he is brought... Oh, and they also figured out, like, okay, well, this is so weird. Like, how is all this stuff happening? I think at one point, like, someone overhears that they need a pure soul, and the purest soul they can get is Scooby-Doo. I don't know. I think that's what happens. There's that line of dialogue. And it's like, well, why would who would want Scooby-Doo? Of anyone on the island, Chad, who would want him? And they realize, it's Mr. Bean. He's the one that wanted him the whole time. And then we cut to a scene of Mr. Bean, Chad, all decked out in black. He wasn't captured by the demon dogs. He's the boss of the demon dogs. That's what happens. E-Mike. Oh, E-Mike. Thank you so much for the 30 biddies. Thank you so much. Oh, chat. Also, I did forget one crucial scene in this film. We do see a flashback sequence when Velma's at the bar talking to the guy who's just infatuated with her, telling about the good old days. Then she said, except for one member. And we see Scrappy-Doo. And this is actually a pretty funny sequence, because it's like, this is very meta. Because most of the fan base despised this character when he was introduced later in later seasons of the series, or different series of Scooby-Doo. Scrappy-Doo is like, let me at him. He's the Joe Pesci of Scooby-Doo, chat. Except not cool whatsoever. He doesn't say motherfucker or anything like that. And they cut to that flashback sequence. Scrappy's being incredibly annoying. He fucking just urinates on Daphne. People are like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm marking my territory. It's like, it's really fucked up. And he says, okay, you losers. I think we should have a vote about who should be the leader. I vote for me. And they fucking kick him out of the goddamn bus, chat, and they leave Scrappy-Doo to die. End of flashback sequence. It plays importance later on in the movie. Now we're here. They realize that Mr. Bean's the bad guy. Scooby-Doo comes walking into the room, and Mr. Bean's like, Scooby-Doo's just a fucking idiot, chat. Again, all the plastic is in his stomach. All the poison's running through his veins at this point, affecting his brain. He doesn't know where the fuck he is. He's basically having a stroke. Might as well be having a stroke. He's severely brain damaged at the very least. Mr. Bean says, hey, Scooby, I'm your biggest fan, man. And I want to treat you right. You know what I need you to do, be for me? And Scooby's like, what? I need you to be a sacrifice. And Scooby, again, with the plastic affecting his brain, doesn't realize what the hell that is. He's like, I'm going to sacrifice. And so Scooby-Doo's going to be the sacrifice because he has the pure soul, and they're going to go down and perform the ritual. Okay, sure. With all the pensive that's full of all the other souls from Dumbledore's office. So then all the rest of the mystery gang, they're putting together a plan. They're going to go rescue Scooby-Doo in the temple where the pensive is. They get all this shit together. I mean, it doesn't matter. They get to the temple. They do some sight gags and everything. It doesn't matter, chat. We get there. They interrupt the ritual where Scooby's getting about to get his soul sucked out. They stop it, chat. Mr. Bean, he's blasting away all of his compatriots and other fellow demon dogs. They all fall down. It's like, oh no, it didn't work. And it's like, oh, we stopped it, guys. We stopped Mr. Bean from taking over the world for 10,000 years by using the soul of Scooby-Doo. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. I'm guessing that's what happens in the movie. Anyway, So they're like, oh shit, because they noticed that Mr. Bean, he's been knocked down. Chad, he's got like this little electronic device connected to him where you can get Scooby-Doo's soul and all the souls of the people. Like the souls of the people are all inside of him right now, Chad, but except for Scooby-Doo's soul. They go up to him and they notice like, oh, there's a little bit of ripped plastic near his face, Chad. It's a mask. Oh, it's old man goddamn Smithers. Mike, thank you so much. You've been very generous to stream, man. Thank you for the 33 biddies. My favorite characters are the Hex Girls, especially Thorn. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But I appreciate the donation nonetheless. Anyway, so they rip off the mask, chat, and it's not just some guy, it's a fucking robot. It's like he's got googly eyes and his old electronics. You're like, oh, what the hell is that? And then all of a sudden, chat, his fucking chest bursts open like a goddamn chest burst from Aliens, and out pops Puppy Power! It's Scrappy-Doo! It's Scrappy-Doo, chat. He was the one pretending to be Mr. Bean. Spooky Island has been under his control. He set up this cult. He's trying to take over the world. Thank you. Mike, thank you again for the 30 biddies. Watch Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. I've never seen that one. And you'll find out who the Hex Girls are. Hot. Are they cute? Are they cute? And Scrappy-Doo, he now has the souls of all those horny teenagers inside of him. He's like, I did this because I'm going to kill, and he basically says, chat, I'm going to kill all of you. I brought you back here because you abandoned me to die on the side of the road in some bumfuck town in middle America. Woo! Fern! I thought you already followed me, Fern, but thank you for the follow again. Appreciate it. You left me to die all those years ago, so I brought you all here so I could torture and kill all of you. That's basically what his plan is, chat. And then I'm gonna take over the world. It's like, wow. Wow. And then he has all the souls of the horny teenagers inside of him, chat, and he starts to transform, starts to Hulk out, becomes a monstrous Hulk-like Scrappy-Doo, and they get into a brawl. They all start fighting and everything. Eventually, then all the characters, they start fighting some of the other guys. Daphne, she gets her moment in the sun, chat, because she's always been the damsel in distress of this entire film, but she gets into a goddamn kung fu fight with one of the big henchmen bad guys. This guy's like 7 foot tall, what's the Mexican wrestlers? What are they called? Like a Mexican wrestler looking guy, because he has the face like Rey Mysterio. She gets into a fight with a very thick Rey Mysterio. Thank you again, Mike, for another 30 biddies. You're very generous today, man. I'm bringing up Daphne's fight. Luchador, that's it. I'm bringing it up, man. I'm right there. Sarah, thank you for the 9 biddies. Excuse me, the 9 biddies. And so Daphne, she's fighting the Luchador, chat. Thank you so much. She's fighting the Luchador. She kicks his fucking ass, chat. And she says, now who's the damsel? And he's like, I'm the damsel. And then she just fucking kicks him into the hole, chat. Like, this is Sparta type shit. He falls in the hole, back into the temple, chat. And he's like screaming. Scrappy's like, what the fuck's going on? And he hits the pensive chat where all the collection of the horny teenagers' original souls were on. And it interrupts the ritual. It falls over. All the souls start bursting out of Scrappy. He's screaming in pain, chat, because they're just all ripping through him. And they go into all the horny teenagers, and they're horny physically again. It's like good for them. And then Scrappy-Doo starts to become the withered little husk of a pup that he was. But he still wants to fight. He still like, put him up, and all that. And then fucking Scooby-Doo just fucking backhands him, chat, right across his face. Hits the goddamn wall, dead. Scrappy-Doo is dead. Meanwhile, everyone's happy that Scrappy-Doo has been murdered by Scooby-Doo. And Scooby-Doo finally did it, man. He hit him, or he just could have torn him apart. I think this was the best option. This is PG rating, chat. So he just smacked the wall, traumatic brain injury, died within probably minutes. So we're at the end of the film. Everyone's happy. Mystery Inc. is reformed. Shaggy reunites with Mary Jane. It's very nice. It's lovely. There might be an end credit sting. There's a sight gag of sorts, but that is Scooby-Doo, the movie, the 2002 classic, chat. There you fucking go. Yes. I might have to review Scooby-Doo Unleashed, chat. I've never seen that film. I don't know anything that happens in that movie. He's dead, chat. That's what happened. He should have bit the throat, man. He should have just torn it out. Oh. That's the film, chat. It was a commercial success. It made a lot of money. No question about that. I'm sure it made a lot on the back end, too, in terms of, like, DVD sales and VOD rentals. Streaming wasn't a thing back then, but merchandising, too. Scooby-Doo was going to make money forever. So, it made enough to where they wanted to do a sequel. Matthew Willard, he had a career voicing Shaggy for quite a while. That's where, like I said, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar met. They fell in love. They got married. They had children. So there were some positive things that come from this film, chat. I'm talking positive right now, but as the film itself, some old bullshit. This is the definition of some old bullshit. There's not a lot here to like. I mean, Matthew Lillard gives a very good performance. What he's doing is not great, but he tries. He's trying his best, and for the most part, he does a good job. A good enough job where he's great as the voice of Shaggy, which I have heard in various clips. Haven't watched an episode, but he does good. Yeah, that was a fun review. Dad, thank you. Thank you so much. I would have gotten away with it. What for you meddling sons of bitches? And they fucking backhand scrap and he hits the wall. Traumatic brain injury, chat. Dead in minutes. Spiral Blade. I used to love that movie as a kid, but it's aged like milk. Yes, it has. E-Mike, thank you for the 100 biddies. You should get the sequel to the 2002 piece of shit. I might have to. This was a fun one. This was fun to talk about. I might have exaggerated a bit. Just a teeny bit. Chris Ayers, thank you for the 100 biddies. Matthew Lillard's the bright spot, agreed. But I also give some love to Linda Cardellini's Velma, and not just for her performance. Ooh! Hoo-hoo! I mean, look, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Linda Cardellini are very beautiful in this movie. I will say this, guys. With the exception of Matthew Lillard, I don't think a lot of the actors... I guess I'll give it to Linda Cardellini to a certain degree. She does have Velma's cadence, but she's kind of just outshined by Matthew Lillard throughout it as Shaggy, where he's the one that you actually pay attention. The rest, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, they don't really give him anything to do. They definitely cut Freddie Prinze Jr.'s scenes in this film, because he just disappears through large swaths of the movie, and you don't know what happened to him. Sarah, thank you. It could have been, I guess it could have been, maybe. But I think that if they're ever going to do a live-action parody, or excuse me, if they ever do another live-action film, it should be a send-up to the franchise, a parody. Again, as you guys said earlier, before I even started talking about this, a 21 Jump Street-esque comedy. That's what they should do with Scooby-Doo. Have it have that rated R rating. Matter of fact, I'd fucking bring back James Gunn to write and direct it. I think he would have a blast doing that, because he's clearly a fan, and he knows what works and what doesn't in live action. I think that'd be really cool. Think, man, remember Matthew Lillard and Looney Tunes back in action? No, I don't. I've never seen that movie. I've only seen Space Jam, the Corey Coleman directed classic. Oh, by the way, Corey Coleman did a good job in this movie for the limited screen time that he got. But I was like, let's give Corey a round of applause, guys. He did a good job in this film. Again, not a lot to do, but he sold it. He had the plot progress. Yeah, it is. The Scoob. Chris Ayers, thank you again for 100 biddies. Get Karen Gillan as a live-action Daphne. That'd be good, man. That's good casting right there. Okay, chat. Before I jump into my erotic Sonic fan fiction, who would you like to see in the live-action Scooby-Doo movie? Let's do some casting right now. Who you got for me? E-Mike, thank you again for your generosity. Thank you for the 40 biddies. Don't forget to tell Tori about the hell of a boss or has been no. I will not, sir. I will not. But be sure to email him too, man, if you want to talk about it. That's a good way. We do talk about other topics on 8-Bit Crumbs, and that'd be a good way to talk about it there. Brad Pitt. You know what? I like what you're going with, Psycho Cat. Let's cast like an older Mystery Incorporated, where they're like all in their 40s or 50s. Let's do that. Like let's do like old, because I like that idea. Like they're all disenfranchised, and that's why you can have that R rating. So let's do Brad Pitt. I like this so far. So Brad Pitt's Fred. Ooh. Who should we have as Daphne? You know what? I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go fucking Christina Hendricks as Daphne. That's who I want as Daphne. Or she could be a good Velma. Ooh. No, we're going to have Christina Hendricks as Velma. That's who I'm doing. So let's get a good Daphne in here. Red-headed actresses. Thank you, Mike, again for your generosity. 21 biddies. Hell yeah, she is Chris Harris. Make Keanu Reeves Shaggy. Oh my God. Scoob, what are we going to do? I don't think he can do it. I don't think he can pull it off. Just bring back Matthew Lillard. He's the right age for it at this point. So we got Brad Pitt as Fred, Matthew Lillard as Shaggy, Christina Hendricks as Velma. Who are we going to have as Daphne? Sarah Michelle Gellar as Daphne again? I want only Matthew Lillard as the one part of that movie to come back. Jonah Hill as Scoob. David Spade as Shaggy. I could see that. I could see that. I don't know. Let's see who can voice Scooby-Doo, a good Scooby-Doo voice. But I don't even want... You know what, chat? We're not even... No, Scooby's not even around. He's dead. Like, Scooby is actually dead, and they have a new dog. We can do something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Hal Mirren is Daphne? Sold! Let's do it. Turns out Daphne was actually a lot older back in the day. She just stayed in high school for like 20 years. She was actually in her 40s. That would be really funny. I love that a lot. Oh my God. All right. So, chat... I'm going to go ahead and refill my beverage, and I'm going to get to the next chapter of my erotic Sonic fanfiction. Tune in. I'll be right back. Entertain yourselves amongst yourselves.